Aloha mai. Today we have Master Lauhala Weaver, Pohaku Kaho'ohanohano, who will be sharing with us the wonderful uses of the Kumula'au Lauhala, or the Hala tree. So, aloha mai e Pohaku.
Aloha mai.
Please share owai ko inoa, what's your name, where you're from, no hea mai oi, and what got you interested in the Lauhala tree itself and the actual art of weaving.
So aloha mai, o Pohaku Kaho'ohanohano, noho wau ma ka hakuloa, he mea ulana Lauhala wau. So I'm a weaver, I live in Kahakuloa. What actually got me interested in Lauhala weaving was back when I was in my mid-teens, so about 15 or so, I got interested in my genealogy. So basically that's what sparked the interest. What I did was go around and ask all my oldest family members the stories, or traditions, how my family lived in the past, what the kupuna did basically during their lifetimes. And part of the knowledge that I gained was that both of my dad's grandmothers were Lauhala weavers. So they didn't only weave Lauhala, but Lauhala of course was the main source of weaving for Hawaii. After finding that out, I wanted to try and see what it was like. The only experience I had was going to explorations in Oahu when I was young and making a Lauhala bracelet. So I didn't. So by that time, I still had no understanding of Hala. So then by the time I was 19, I searched out some kupuna to teach me Lauhala, and so at that time I was living in Honokohau Valley, and that's where one of my grandmothers were born. This one Auntie June Kaehue, who lived up in the valley, she told me, okay, I'll teach you. So she told me to come to her house the following week, bring my Lauhala, and then from then she would, we'll work with the Hala and show me how to prepare. So I went to her house the following week. I brought some Lauhala that I had gathered, went to her house, and basically she took a look at my Lauhala and told me it was junk, so I had to throw it away. And so she had her own little stash on the side. So she taught me how to clean, prepare Lauhala, and get it ready for weaving. And then the first thing she taught me was baskets. So the first thing I started learning was baskets. And so, of course, right then I went home, just made a bunch of baskets, and of course, all my first baskets are totally kapulu because I was just learning. So plenty pieces were inside out or backwards. Wasn't tightly woven, really loose, but when I look at the progression, I keep my first baskets to remind me where I started, So, but it started from there. It started with my genealogy, finding out that both of my dad's grandmothers were weavers, and yeah. Once I started learning, I just never stopped and made it part of my life.
Mahalo na ka maolelo ana mai. So, in your mana'o, do you look at it as more of a kuleana? Because in our traditional Hawaiians, we are passed down kuleana, knowing or not knowing that it's our kuleana.
Yeah.
So, just from hearing your maolelo, it just reminded me of how that just could have been your hana kuleana, or that it was passed down to you with you not knowing, just your interest and your desire to learn. So mahalo no kela mo'olelo. That was very, very interesting. First time I heard it, so mahalo nui.
No, now it's a kuleana. It's a total kuleana. But when I first started, I didn't feel that way. I was like interested in just learning this and that and trying. And now, because eventually I had 7 different kumu that taught me all their different ways of weaving. So 4 from Maui, 3 from Big Island, and I've lost almost all of them. I only had 1 teacher left, and that's my very first teacher actually, June Kaehue. She's the only one. So now, especially because a lot of them didn't even teach their own kids or grandchildren, it's a huge responsibility for me to bring that back to their own families when they're ready to. Some of the kids were young when I started learning, some of my kumu's grandchildren, so they didn't really have that interest or wasn't, around a lot. So now that their kupuna is gone, but they still want the knowledge, I do hold some of that family knowledge for them. So that's my kuleana for sure. to
Yeah,
keep this art alive.
no, mahalo. He vai kaike. So the knowledge that you hold or you share is very important, and you see the importance in your holding it and then actually using it to share, and with not just the ohana but the community. I know you've been doing a lot of community, what do you call that, demonstrations or classes, within, the kayapuni or during certain events. So, iki vo ya oi, mahalo vo ya oi. I see you and I'm like, oh, one day. But, you have to be a certain kind of kanaka to hold that kike and actually put it to your limos. So if you could share a little bit about the kumulao itself. We know it's very vibrant, it's very important. As you said, the lauhala was used, or the main, weaving leaf or lau was the lauhala. I'm guessing of the abundance or the of the leaves versus something like makaloa, which we don't see often, or I'm not sure what else was used for actually weaving. But yeah, can you share a little bit about the lauhala tree itself and how you use it or prepare it to be woven?
Well, first of all, right, when I started learning my kumu, after a while we would go gather together, right? So you always clean the tree. You always respect the tree. You don't leave your rubbish. When I go pick, sometimes the kupuna would sit there down by the tree and clean and stuff, and but they would, make sure they don't throw the rubbish all over the place. So, but when I go pick, normally I gather, take it home, then I prepare, and then I mulch all my leaves. So, definitely have the respect for your tree. You clean your tree, then your tree will provide clean leaves back to you. So, and then, it's healthier for the tree anyway. And if it gets all stuffed, sometimes it just has a hard time breathing up inside of the tufts or down inside of the roots. So clean it all out, freshen your tree up, and it'll provide good leaf for you. As far as I know, the tree is an ancient tree. It's been on Earth since the time of the dinosaurs. Of course, the main part of the tree that we use is the leaf itself. Normally, when the Hawaiians weave, they pick it dead and dry, either hanging on the tree or falling onto the ground. You want to look, of course, for the leaves that look the best. The wider the leaf, the better. The longer, the better. You get more material out of it. So when we go and pick the leaf, we pick it nice and dry like this. We want to make sure that this part, the po'olau, is intact. If you find older leaves, such as this one, the top tends to delaminate and it starts getting dry rot, or a lot of times it'll sit with a lot of moisture and it'll rot from the inside. And so that tells you it's an older leaf, or it's just been sitting in the wrong area for too long. So we go gather our leaves, clean your tree, say mahalo to your tree, make sure the tree stays nice and healthy. Also, when we go gather with our kupunas, they always look to see if somebody already was cleaning the tree. So if somebody was already, somebody picks from that tree is kapu, made for the person that's cleaning. Basically, every part of the tree is used, from the trunk, the roots. Roots have fibers in it that they used to make rope out of. The Hala. Also, the trunk in the female can be hollowed out and used as the irrigation piping for the taro patches in the old days. Instead of PVC pipes nowadays, But me, I give credit to the Hala tree for making us Hawaiian, because it was the Hala leaves that they wove into the canoe sails. Yeah. So this is what brought our canoes over thousands of years ago. And in fact, every single Pacific island, Micronesia, Melanesia, Polynesia, all these islands were populated by canoes at Lauhala sails. Even New Zealand. Of course, their hala didn't last. It died because it's too cold, so they started using flax. But our weaving stayed the same. But to me, we wouldn't have been here if it wasn't for this tree, definitely. Yeah. And it was here, we know, at least 1.2 million years before we had arrived.
So after you malama your kumulaa, you mahalo him or her, you mahalo la kumulaa lauhala. You gather your mea, your lau, you clean it, take all the kuku off. What will be the next steps after the cleaning to prepare you to actually weave or a lauhala bracelet or a papale? You know, is it the same or the process is the same or different?
So yeah, depending on what you're making, well, the process of the leaf is all the same. Also knowing your grade of hala, so certain leaves are only made for maybe making baskets and mats and coarser things, whereas certain leaves you can use for finer work, more pliable, stronger, longer lasting for papale, bracelets, things you wear like purses, you know, and get a lot of wear.
Okay.
So knowing your grading of hala. Also, once you prepare your leaf, get it dethorned, washed, and then you roll it. We keep it in the kuka'a, the large rolls that we store our leaves in. Those I don't like to take out for at least a month before, you know, after I've cleaned it. I don't want to take it out before because then it'll tend to want to curl back into its original shape. So then it's harder to weave again. Just if you pick good, fresh, nice, clean leaves, your product will be clean, nice, and fresh also. If you have mildew on your leaves, you're gonna see it in your product.
Well, we also know that, you know, traditionally, culturally, you know, lifestyle, Hawaiians were very clean and neat. So that's why we can see their work throughout the generations still be like day one. You know, if it's a papale or if it's a pohaku or papakui'ai or an umeke, you know, we appreciate the kumula'au and kept the cleanliness from the natural state to the art of it or whatever we're making. So mahalo for reminding the cleanliness of your work or preparing your work and actually doing your work is very important to the Hawaiian culture. So mahalo. Aloha e Pohaku. Mahalo for sharing with us how to weave a star. So now we are going to learn how to weave a fish. We understand it's a little bit difficult or has some extra steps, so please share with us how to weave a fish.
Okay, I will. Okay, so first thing we'll do is with these two pieces, we'll take one and we'll stand it up. So anything standing, of course, is called ku or makaku. And the second piece will go right in the center horizontally. And anything in weaving that's horizontal we call moe or makamoe. Yeah. So basically this starts just like the fish, so the star. So we'll start right at our bottom here and fold it over to the right. Okay. We're gonna go counterclockwise. So we'll take the second piece here, fold that one over to the left, between your two lefties. Then you have your lehua flower. So we'll take your second strand from your right, fold it over the upper two strands to the left, right across. Okay. Once you do that, you're gonna spin it right around, staying on the same side. Okay, then it looks like the headless man again. So we're gonna take his left arm, push this into the right, and create a loop here. So a little hole here, puka. You're gonna take his right leg, go up over the arm and through the puka, straight up. So it's just like what you do a cardboard box. So you fold all four ends in, and then the last one we tuck. Pull that up till it stops. Then you pull all your strands together till you have a nice solid box in the center. Okay, just like that. So once you have that, we're going to turn it over to the other side. So you have a little X on the side. So what you want to do is that closest, longest part of the X to you, you want that to stand straight up and down. Okay. So once you have this part standing up, you'll take your left strand, push it into the right, loosening it, making a puka right here, a loop right here. So what you're going to do is take this bottom one now. You're going to go up through this loop halfway only, okay? Creating a puka or a loop right here at your bottom. Okay? Once you create this loop, you're gonna pull this one back, and this same one now will go through that bottom loop to the right. Pull that one all the way, and then you pull this loop all the way up, and there you have your fish. Yeah. Okay. So I'm holding the fish's mouth, nose, nuku. Okay. So what we're gonna do is cut the fins. First fin, and then the tail. Spin it around, and do the same thing. We'll cut the fin again, and the tail. And there's your fishy. All right, little manini.
So he leo mahalo kia ia o ko pakahi a pau no ka hui ana, no ka ho'onanea pū ana me mākou, no ka ho'oka ike, no ka ho'olohe ana I ka ike Hawaii o kia makumu. Mahalo nui for all of you tuning in with us throughout these past days and really, engaging in the ike that has been shared from all these wonderful mentor and kumu of Maui, of Hawaii. He leo mahalo keia, again, mahalo to Ka'ehu, again, mahalo to all the people who shared and engaged with us in our keiki and our community. And again, this is encouragement to all you folks to find that space in your own community to learn, to engage, to share, to create relationships with Aina and with people and learn more and share more in the culture, in the Aina. And I'm so happy to be able to share with you folks today and throughout these past days. So mahalo piha ia o ko pakahi a pau o wau no o ka hakuriti kamara. Ma ka ehu a hui ho launa pu ho kako I ke kahila. A hui ho.